I'm very glad to be invited to the stage at PBWS and very glad to speak on behalf of my colleagues at Ethereum Community Fund. Obviously, as you see 2.0, we have done some upgrade since last year. If you're familiar with what ECF was doing, then there's some new updates that you could listen to. And the bad news is we don't have tokens for you to mine, and perhaps not so much of worry of your private key storage, but we are doing very complex and a lot of things with ECF that potentially will be very helpful for what you are doing. No matter whether you are in an early stage of a project development or you are at a stage of looking at ecosystem expansion or collaboration with other entities, we are here to help. And let me try this. So what is ECF? If you didn't know already, we are a non-profit initiative. And what we provide to the projects in ecosystems are financial support and strategic guidance, especially to projects that are in blockchain, a little bit beyond as well, for open source development, advocacy, developer experience and tooling, also with the user experience improvement, critical infrastructure and research, decentralized applications development, educational programs, responsible community growth, and etc. ECF landed with the name Ethereum Community Fund, actually with initials ECF itself first. And we had been talking about what this letter C should stand for. And there were a few interpretations. One is community, which we eventually chose. Another one is coordination and collaboration. And we designed the mechanism of ECF, especially this year, specifically to work around these key notions that I will explain. So ECF was funded in Tokyo in, 2018, that's a typo there. So we have been around for a year, and we are initially funded by these founding members that are in the ecosystem that have been doing wonderful, great jobs to push mass adoption of blockchain technology and cryptocurrency. And they are Omisego, Web3, which is famous for their project Polkadot, Cosmos, MakerDAO, Status, Golem, and we are supported and advised by Ethereum Foundation, as you can see in the picture from last year. So ECF essentially is an organization that is sort of an NGO in the ecosystem, that is not really by one organization that is aiming at pushing out one project, but a community union that gathered together to address concerns of the ecosystem. So our major mission is to harmonize community concerns through various mutual agreements, agreeable means, and it could be a grant program, which is what ECF 1.0 was about. We have been given out, just for last year, 40 grants, supported 20 major events. And what we are going to do more will be more programs of collaboration. It could be cryptography hackathons. It could be meetups or workshops that gather a group of people that are working on similar things together. And we do it apart from researching and understanding and talking to the applicants that come to ECF for support in the form of an open network of funds. Addressing the problem of funding, especially for early projects, we initially gathered donations from our members. We're still doing that, but also open to the idea of connecting all these grant programs, funds in different stages, or ecosystems on foundation that are looking at eco-expansion to come together. And then we essentially become this pipeline, this onboarding program that receive applications and understand them and talk to them, give them guidance, point out pitfalls, and point them to the right partners they should work at for their specific stage, and then push them to the funds that are in our network to support them for their specific needs. So we are sort of like a butler program. So when you come to blockchain, whatever stage you are, you come to us and we're like, hello, welcome to blockchain, what can I do for you? And that goes both to the members that donate to us and looking for things to be done and give us wish lists to scout projects or talents that can help their stage, but also those new blood that just wants to come into crypto. They probably need a kickstart to quit their job for a few months, or to test the water a little bit, or don't even know whether their research will end with some sort of results that really would be helpful. But no matter what result that would be, it would be definitely helpful for, even if it fails, it excludes certain options that people can learn from. So what we do in ECF with colleagues across all continents, mostly our colleagues are in US, NYC specifically. I'm in Shanghai, and another of my colleagues in Thailand, and we also have colleagues in Berlin. And with ambassador networks in different regions that we cannot reach to with just English language, and we want local communities to be reached to. And what we do is, like I just explained, apart from coordination, giving grants to projects, we also help to incubate and accelerate them with the right partners. The source of funding is from the donations of our members, and one thing that is an upgrade from 1.0 is also that we now would like to also address the problems of sustainable for-profit projects to grow for our ecosystems, for our technology to go mainstream, for people to use. A lot of the hype that happened in the past years was essentially because real value has never reached the people that we're supposed to help and supposed to provide value to. And that doesn't help with the blockchain technology to be adopted. And we would like to do that with funds and with projects that aim at making money in a healthy way. So far, we have received 800 applications, a great pipeline of projects that are working on solutions that are very needed, and they are perhaps most of the time the missing chapters of a lot of ecosystems scouting programs, and we help them to find the partners to work with. So for applicants who would like to have ECF support, there is going to be no just denial of your grant. There will be continuous support in terms of understanding of why the ecosystem is not being so helpful at this moment, what needs to be done, what needs to be improved, until you'll be able to find funding or other support. And then we will not only be limited to funding, as I explained, and we're expanded to also for-profit projects. For our members, we sort of form this network of funds. And what the upgrade has been is that essentially you don't really need to give the money to us for certain programs to be set up. We are forming a program with Interchain Foundation that is governing Cosmos, which will be dedicated to have $500,000 put in a fund pool that is mostly controlled and decided by them through our effort of finding the projects that can help with Cosmos ecosystems growth. That being an example. So that would have removed the issue of how do I trust you guys, or how much say do I have in terms of what grants to give out. And by doing so, we also kind of converted the conflict of interest among the projects, among the members, to a healthy competition. It's like a scholarship program. Why do I choose to go to Yale or do I choose to go to Harvard? It depends sometimes about how much scholarship I can get, but also about whether they have the programs that can help what I'm passionate about in the future, or how much they can help me in terms of my career growth. So. And this also decreases the cost of setting up such grant programs for other projects that have funds to deploy. Through ECF efforts, we'll be able to just understand the fund's need, let alone, no matter whether it's an ecosystem project that is developing something, or it's just a fund that's looking at investing in crypto or blockchain projects. we would be able to provide opinions on how much community support will be there, how long the growth path would be, how many partners will be there on the line to wait for them to grow, to participate and partner together, and also provide technical support, because most of my colleagues have been in crypto or blockchain for 5-6 years, that have personally experienced in building projects, building community, and experience all these legal frictions or ways to be more compliant, and thus we will be able to also help our members in a better way. The options are very flexible for our members to cooperate with us. The one would be, I just want to give some money to this good deed, or I just want to support you guys. Then you're very welcome to deposit into our general ecosystem grant pool, which we will decide arbitrarily, in a way, whatever cool project, whatever cool people that we would like to give money to, and it will be shown in a very transparent way. Option 2, as I explained, could be specific programs that suit your organization's needs at a specific stage after you join ECF. We'll be conducting regular calls and meetings to understand what you need at this moment in order for us to help better to look for these resources. Option 3 would be give directly. You are open to get the access of the projects that are coming in our way and all these programs that we are conducting. And you can, by yourself, assign a specialist to access these applications and approach them with or without our help, and then you can give directly to them. One might ask then, well, won't you worry about whether people will still need you anymore? This is the least of our concern. If people don't need us anymore, that will be the best news. So it will be much more efficient. Of course, when people access these applications, when our members access these applications, it will also be seen as all these updates of our technical evaluation and a talk of their needs and all these things that we write as notes underneath these applications to help members to understand better how to help them. So these are just examples of the collaborations we had. We were doing a Web 3.0 infrastructure fund, and I was just a few days ago in Holland with Odyssey, the biggest AI and blockchain hackathon that had 1,500 participants. Very big venue, great experience. And we picked Circularize, one of the projects that can help with tokenization being more sustainable and interests more aligned with investors and the project leads. And then we hosted, co-hosted a non-fungible summit. And these are the things that ECF have been doing. So essentially, what we want to address is sort of the tragedy of commons, because projects must be focused on what they promise their community that they should be doing. And we have perhaps thousands of serious projects in Ethereum or broader decentralization ecosystems that are trying to take this technology to the world. And that obviously results in that they will be too focused and not to be able to realize what's going on outside of their domain. And this is essentially what we are trying to do, to bring these gaps smaller, and then to give them these feedbacks as to who are working on similar things, so there is no redundancy, or collaborations that should happen at certain times should happen, while we support them financially and then connect them with the right partners. So we have experts in the early on, since Bitcoin age, when Ethereum wasn't even launched, that are participating actively, and we have many volunteers also from Ethereum Foundation and from all these members foundations helping us to look at projects and mentor the applicants. We have a big network of ambassadors in Japan, in Korea, in Romania, in Colombia, and we're calling for more people to participate together in our regular calls to understand what local communities are looking at, to help us do due diligence work of understanding the applicants a bit more, whether they're reliable or not, or whether they're really doing what they are doing, what they say they're doing, and then give us information as to who hasn't come to us but really need help. And Full Node and Neutrino, as two co-working spaces that focus on blockchain innovations, have graciously donated desks and meeting rooms to ECF members and ECF applicants. Gitcoin, one of our grantees from last year, actually now is developed into a great platform for micro bounties for projects to look for what they need, but also incentivize them to do it. We are collaborating together to set up better milestones for projects when they come to us for funding, and see and evaluate how they are doing their work. So a bit of a call for action, and we would like to have more members, different kinds of players in the ecosystem to join us. We'll be onboarding a few VCs, a few exchanges, to also bring perspectives from their side, and perhaps a few exchanges that would very much like some early access to projects before they grow too big, that they can approach. But we all come from different needs that would help our own organizations, and they are all players in the ecosystem that we would like to understand in order for a fuller picture to be there for us to serve our community. So in order to contribute or join as a member to set up programs or to help projects that are in need, you could write to me personally, qj@ecf.network, or just write to our general email handler, hello@ecf.network. And applicants who want to apply for support can just go to our website, ecf.network, to simply click apply, and then fill in the questionnaire that would help us to conduct meaningful discussions with you guys. And you will all be talk to either in person or online. And for communities, we call for your contribution as well. As I mentioned, co-working spaces, like Meetup, meeting venues. We need translators for all the great research papers and content to be translated to more local communities. We want tech analysis to join us in evaluating the applicants and help them to grow after they finish their milestones, and more ambassadors from different regions that we cannot reach to. So a lot of the grants that we're given to, because this is a common question that is asked, are projects that are otherwise not so much for profit, or otherwise not so expected to be for profit, that will make it more frictional for normal users to use. It could be scalability programs, it could be just tools, it could even be just something that you think is cool to do, but not necessarily knowing whether it's going to lead somewhere for you to make money. And these are projects that we usually give grants to, that we would like to support, to solve the problem of tragedy of commons, that essentially, if you're an organization, you have specific needs, and if it doesn't align with your need, you don't really want to give them funding. And we would like to fund whoever deserves funding and are just cool to have in the world. So this is Ethereum Community Fund Network. Our friend SNZ Capital has kindly lent us a little bit of a corner of their booth. So if you want to come to chat a little bit or get a pamphlet of information, you could come to us at a booth. I'll be there after lunch break, my own lunch break, and then would be very looking forward to talking to you guys. Thank you very much. Thank you for your patience.